essentially what Shimmer was prior to the when they got rid of the coordinator, right? Like instead of having one coordinator, they had basically multiple validators. They kind of shifted to that, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, even until the end, I'm not sure if they are using the validator plan. Basically, our developer checked the code. So basically, they are validators and they are node. So basically, node can always, like some people, they can run the node, which helps to make the network faster and stronger, probably. But the validator is more like can control the network, can stop it, can shut it down, can do different things, very big decisions. But honestly, I don't think Shima is actually giving the validators out to us eventually. So you remember, like initially they set up like governance voting to choose the validators for the community,
Right.
and then in the middle, Tangle Pay was even selected as one of the validator. But in the middle, I think they stopped the plan.
Yeah. They didn't like the result, so then they just changed
the
voting.
So the thing is not tested actually ever on Tangle. Yeah.
Correct.
But it's the code is ready, I think.
Okay. Code is ready. Ideally 3 to 7 validators. And essentially this network would not be centralized as a coordinator. The level of centralization would be based on the number of validators at the end of the day, which is 90% of the chains out there. And nodes help. I think it's like messaging through the system, but the nodes can't decide the chain, fork the chain, or anything like that. Okay. So yeah, so far we have, okay, so Garrett's going to create, and Tina is going to create the open GitHub base for TAN, and that's going to start becoming open source and transparent. I will finalize the governance structure that we agreed on, which is making the decision within these groups of people that are active. What we'll add is sort of a, in Discord, how someone proposes to even come to a vote. And again, that's up to us if we see, whether that's in the governance channel or the general channel, if we see that, we should try to bring that into the meeting, even if those individuals can't be here for whatever reason, maybe time-wise, etc. And then we will use that governance structure to discuss how much we incentivize people to get active, with a priority being how should we incentivize and how much for validators in the beginning to get it off the ground and running. And also then next discussion would be, do we like the current airdrop amount, and does that need to be adjusted? And then also, I think keep discussing, should we just have token voting on L2, given that those individuals that have purchased TAN have more skin in the game? Which, would that be like initial discussions, like even after the airdrop? Because then if we had a bridge, people could just bridge their tokens to L2.
Yeah. You mean if we want to decide that earlier?
Like, are you just talking about early decisions?
No. I mean, I was trying to repeat your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get in my head the BSC voting, if we were to, let's say that was put into practice through a vote, and we decided to make decisions with on-chain L2 tokens on BSC for TAN, then we have the airdrop, and we have let's say we have a bridge. Does the ability of L1 token holders being able to bridge to L2 create anything negative in that aspect?
It's only this, for example, if also to do with we need to vote on the amount of airdrop because we didn't sell as much TAN token. So basically the airdropped token will be massive comparing with the amount of the purchase token. So do we think this will cause a problem? Maybe, but at least the first question is they will actually sell on BSC probably and will dump the price. If they think they get it for free, they can dump it to almost zero, then it will be like a disaster for the people who purchased the token on BSC. So probably before the voting question, yeah, people worry more about the price. If the purchase token amount is similar to the airdrop one, which was originally the plan, and together with some amount of money we can use for the market making, then it's not a problem. But now if we do that as everything as the plan, then probably there is a problem on the price. Yeah.
Okay, so we're discussing specifically decision of really how much should be airdrop.
Yeah. So once it's possible, when we can have a vehicle to decide, I actually have like three. I will like give a more like general information in a wording to the community or to the voters so that they can understand the whole situation better. Then we can decide together.
Right. And if there's not a bridge and we airdrop L1 tokens,
yeah, they can't sell. But they
can't sell anything.
Yeah.
What is that? But okay, so yeah, because basically because if the airdrop occurs, it could possibly change current price of the token potentially. So there's a discrepancy between people who bought the token versus who gets it in the airdrop. So in that sense, the people that have purchased the tokens are more invested, and it's just a big decision that needs to be made. That decision on how much the airdrop to be dropped could potentially occur with the purchased tokens. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Curious if anyone other has any thoughts on that. I think that leads to further discussion. Because yeah, that's definitely a big one. But it's pretty good. Okay, does anyone have any questions out there? Okay. Anyone have anything they want to discuss as a topic before we go? Okay. Yeah, so we'll solidify this vote, put it into writing to create that governance setup. We'll keep it in Discord unless anyone in this group otherwise disagrees with that for now. And then, yeah, then we'll try to, I think, figure out the incentive aspect, which would even be nice because those that then participate and get incentives should maybe have a little bit more stake too than someone just getting an airdrop. So if that decision potentially could come later, that would be even something as well. So some good stuff to discuss. And that is a big, also another attack venue. If there's some whales that have IOTA and, feel threatened by another network built on the Tangle, they could potentially, vote negatively. So this is always the aspect of governance, trying to, think of attack venues, but at the same time, not go too crazy with that. people can't make a decision. Yeah, good stuff to think about. I think next week will be a lot more good when we get Seafarer to discuss the incentives and can make that decision. I think that's when really we can see if there's people in the community that will start building, that will be a validator, and then that's going to bring up basically the network going live and really the airdrop distribution question. I'll also try to find that voting platform, which we can use on L2 for the BSC token. Another aspect too could be, I'm just thinking about it with the airdrop, and I don't know, I think this was brought up a little bit, but the airdrop could also, unless it's, well, it's an L1, but we could also do it over a year's time, right? I mean, would we be able to do that as, a fork of what they're doing with the airdrop tokens with IOTA?
I think so. It's more like using the time lock, and it's only like increase some more transactions in the network, which is okay. Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay, because that also could be a way to airdrop, include that airdrop community, but they also aren't going to have higher voting power right away than those that have actually purchased. So that may be something where it kind of solves both solutions and maintains security. But we should probably make that a specific. Would we want to make this like a specific channel to have this discussion and try to ignite the community around that?
I think we can also discuss in the governance channel, right? Because we will also update what we discussed today and last time into the governance channel. So if people are interested, they can also catch up and join the discussion.
Okay. And this is all like, as a network launches, it's very fragile, essentially. And, you can take it as a centralized approach and have one organization or one group of developers or members in the community that really control everything and decide everything. Have a, centralized coordinator in a sense, or, there could be the, ways to seek fairness of those invested in the network that make a decision together. So no, I think that's really good. I think those are basically the how to incentivize validators, and then how to decide on the airdrop distribution. Will definitely take up a few weeks of discussion, and then we agree and go for it. All right, I have these kind of notes. Again, I'll work on getting the this together. Bill Buster or Bill Poster will do the video, and we'll get all that together, and hopefully see here kind of 10 next week, and we'll get that going. So
Sounds great.
Go ahead. I was going to say, did anyone else have any questions, any last comments before we go? All right. Garrett, you got anything?
Nope. Sounds good.
Okay. Awesome. Well, good, guys. Thank you for attending, and thank you for voting. I think that was really, really great, and made a decision. We reached consensus, and we're going to move forward and hopefully get this thing off the ground and running and have a decentralized network. So I'm pretty pumped, and please keep attending in the future. It's really, the way that we can do governance if people get involved, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys next week.